Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Valdina in the house, the Gladiator. How are you, man?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Good. Let's talk a little about what you've been up to. Obviously, your last fight wasn't able to go through due to injury. Let's talk a little about what happened with that and just how that changed, last month for you.
Yeah, so I feel like for almost like 3/4 of a year, I've been trying to schedule to fight Joe Peneffield, the party.
Yeah.
Bantamweight champ at Cage Titans, never lost there. Certainly a step up in competition, in my opinion, for who I've been fighting and stuff like that. The last couple guys were really tough, but Joe is just a seasoned vet, and I've been really, really looking forward to fighting him.
Yeah.
Just for multiple reasons. And then I think we got that fight scheduled back in August through October area last year, and then we got it scheduled, we got it lined up, and it was for January 25th. And
oh, really? It was that far out?
Oh yeah, it was far out.
Wow.
It was almost too much time in my hands, what to do, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Which kind of led to me probably pushing a little too hard early on in a fight camp, just because I don't know. I get a name thrown at me, man. I'm ready to go get right into camp.
Yeah, for sure.
I have so much time there, so I probably should have eased up on the gas earlier, and that's what led to a little bit of an injury that I got about a month out from the fight, and that put me out of commission for a little bit. And I was so looking forward to getting into that cage with him, bro, because I just know what I can do to him,
For sure.
And but everything happens for a reason. I'm a true believer in that.
Definitely.
A true believer in the big man upstairs as well.
Definitely.
And I think it only led to an easier path to success the next time I face him, which is going to be in May.
Great.
So May 24th, the party goes down, baby. Let's go.
For sure. Yeah, I know. I was really pumped about hearing that you were fighting for a title.
Yeah.
I was a fan of yours before even getting involved with Cage Titans and shooting and stuff like that. But yeah, I was bummed out to hear about that injury. You were supposed to be on January, and you were supposed to be the main for this pass card, correct?
I was for January. I was supposed to be the co-main event.
Okay.
Main event was Tom Pags versus Don Shamus.
That's right.
And then I ended up commentating that one. Thank you, Mike Pulver, for throwing me my name in the hat again. But then the last card was what? That was March.
Just this last one that was it? March 22nd.
Yep. My boy Joe P got the dub there.
Yeah.
I got to commentate that as well with Hillary, who is the co-main event. So now I'm. Like I said, things happen for a reason. I was the co-main there, and now they pushed me up to the main event, where I think this fight should have been regardless.
Oh yeah.
It's a big historical matchup for Plymouth, in my opinion, that so many people have been dying to see.
Yeah.
I can't wait to deliver and really give people something to remember. So that's why I'm just grateful that I trust the process, and it got us here, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. That Poirier fight was phenomenal. I was shooting Miguel's fight that night, and I was in the back where the tunnel for the doctors, and we were just waiting for him to get called in, and then I just heard the place blow up, and then I go out towards the curtain, and I just see Joe sitting on top of the cage just flexing and everything. I was like, whoa, I don't know what just went down. He's such a high energy. His demeanor is a very, very one of a kind from all of his fights that I've seen. He's, especially even in the back, he seems like the most chill person.
Calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, just the whole time he was just laying back, hands behind his head. He's a very interesting but also very violent man. But
well, we all put in the work so much that's when it comes to fight night, dude, we know what we are capable of. We know what the game plan is. We know what we're gonna do. And Joe is just a seasoned vet at this point. Amateur champion. Probably soon to be, professional champion. I think he's got a fight lined up for another organization soon. So, calm, cool, collected. That's the way to be, in my opinion. That's how we all try to handle all of our fights going forward. Because pure violence when we're in there, but no need to go guns blazing before that.
Yeah. Since we're on the topic, let's talk a little bit about Mom's Basement and who those guys are to you, and what really got you involved with them.
Mom's Basement. It's crazy how that even formed, bro. Because at first, it was all right, so the main core group of people here, right, for the fighters is Mom's Basement, whatever, is me, Joe P, Connor Matthews, and Pete Luciani's our head coach.
Yeah.
And it started with Connor wanting to start his own gym someday, right? And he didn't know exactly where he was going to end up doing this and when he was going to end up doing it, but he decided to pull the trigger and got a little spot called Seaside CrossFit, which is in Wareham somewhere. And basically, it's a CrossFit gym, but he was renting out a small portion of that gym and put down his own mats. And we were working out of there for a few months, and it was working out. You know, we had our coach there and stuff. We were all getting our work in ahead of our fights. But then, for one reason or another, it kind of just ended there. And he's like, all right, well, I still want to continue this gym, blah, blah, blah. Like, where can I put this thing? And he literally spoke to his parents, his mom. He's like, Mom, let me just throw a couple mats down in the basement, and just so we can get some work ahead of this fight. You know, I'm done with Seaside CrossFit. We need to go do something. She's like, sure, go ahead. If it's only for a couple months, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? And then one thing led to another. It was way more than a couple months. Yep. It's been a couple years now, and it's only grown. It's like the whole basement is now matted down. Yep. He has a friggin' cage. It's basically a replica, almost the same size as the Cage Titans cage.
Yeah.
And it's just a great place to go get some training in, man, because it's, you know, short drive for all of us to get to, central location, high level work with all of us, you know, dialed in and know what we need to do. And yeah, it's great. Connor Matthews, man, thank you for giving us that space.
He has a phenomenal gym. I've been there one time.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, to do it was right before Mitch's UFC debut. I was just stepping in for Nico, doing a quick little training shoot.
Oh yeah, you got him a little film. Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, I was blown away by it because I didn't know what. I mean, I've seen pictures and like just small videos, and it's a phenomenal gym. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not like something you would think someone would build in a basement.
Yeah.
It's just like full cage, like you said. It's got mats. The walls are all set. I mean, you guys got the little chill corner before, right when you start. I mean, I feel like it might be one of the most perfect places for an MMA trainer to fight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Or just like, and Connor's the man too. He treated me very well.
Yeah.
And one thing I thought was funny was when I went there, he was had a couple guys over. They were just, you know, doing some rolling. He was doing some pad work with Mitch, and then he just like stopped training. He was like, all right, we gotta stop training. I need to smoke. And I was like, you guys smoke? Like all of you? And then they all went out and they're all just smoking. I'm like, this is crazy, dude, because like I'm a pretty avid smoker when it comes to like weed and stuff like that, but I didn't think that was in you guys' realm like at all. Like I thought that was like something that would be completely separate from MMA fighting, if I'm being honest.
It kind of seems that way, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of benefits to it, honestly. It keeps you kind of in like that relaxed state, gets your juices flowing like imagination style, where you can start getting a little creative with your flowing and striking and rolling and stuff like that. To be honest, I was a pretty big avid smoker, like all through 2024 and all that stuff before that. But I haven't smoked like almost at all this year. Yeah. It's probably since early February is the last time I did, and I kind of feel pretty good. And I'm gonna keep that going until after this fight's done. But yeah, there's definitely a little rolling station over there in the basement.
I know.
And shit like that. All the boys are getting after it.
It was just like it's a mix of like bro and MMA.
Yeah.
And I mean, it shows that it creates just a great community with you guys. I mean, I see the mom's basement stuff all over the place. Mm-hmm. You guys have a packed gym all the time.
Yeah. No, we get good numbers.
And like you said, extremely high level guys. I mean, the names that you just listed off, I mean, no one needs to know anything extra about that. Mm-hmm. But let's go all the way back. You know, you got a title fight now. Mm-hmm. You got, you know, main event of Cage Titans. You're a house name there, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Let's go to where the love for the game began and kind of how it came to this.
Okay.
And you can riff on this. You can go for as long as you need to until you got the story done.
I'll go a little far back then. So in high school, right? Probably start there. In high school, I was like a little guy. You know what I mean? I fight at 135. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was definitely a little guy, and my first true love was basketball, bro. And I really thought like I was gonna be like in the NBA someday.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What
like
a
Nate Robinson, I looked up to and stuff, and a 5 foot something guy.
Definitely.
You know? And I really I was like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it, right? Well, that dream ended pretty fast.
Yeah.
I got cut from like the JV basketball tryouts, bro. I was like, oh, come on, what am I gonna do here? But the wrestling coach in high school saw me after I got cut one day, and he just happened to be somewhere. It's like God's timing right there. But he's like, hey, you know, I saw that didn't work out for you. Why don't you come try out the wrestling team? And I was like, I don't know. I did like youth wrestling as a kid, and I like really young kid. And I just go home like telling my parents they didn't want to do it anymore. So they didn't want to force me to do something I didn't want to do at that age. So I stopped and I told him that. He goes, listen, just give it a try, and if you don't like it, you don't have to come back. But I have a feeling you're gonna really enjoy it. So I went into high school wrestling practice and absolutely fell in love with it. The coaches there were really great, and they knew how to just make it like a good space to want to evolve yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and I was nothing great, you know, in high school wrestling still. You know, I had to really like work hard for absolutely everything. That's what wrestling really teaches you. So I think like the love of the game, like you said, it's more so like the love of like the self-accountability and the grind that came with wrestling at first. That's what I truly fell in love with. And I think that really transitioned well for MMA. And so high school wrestling, I did 4 years of that. And, you know, it went well. I made some good memories. Grinding my ass off for the entire thing. And then when that ended, man, I was like, damn, like, I don't want this to end. What can I do next? You know what I mean? Like, thankfully, the wrestling coach at Bridgewater State, I got in touch with him, and he gave me a little tour of the campus and stuff like that. And I tried out. I went into the team my freshman year in college there, and again fell in love with it even more so. And I did 4 years there, 3-year captain there. Truly enjoyed it. I coached actually one season after that too. But then,
right after you got out or later on?
It was. I did my 4 years, and the next season I coached.
Sweet.
It's like a student coaching job.
Gotcha.
And but when I was in that wrestling season, I forget what year it was during college, Frank Camisa, who's the head coach there, he also corners Joe Lozon, who you know, fights. You know, he's a local legend around here. You know what I mean? He brought me to his gym, Lozon MMA in Raynham, which is like 15-minute drive from the campus, because I needed to cut weight one night. So I went over there and I looked around at all these fighters like hitting the bag and like cutting weight and like grinding, sparring each other, hitting pads. I was like, all right, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what this has led to here. I need to do this. And so as soon as I was done wrestling in college, man, I was like, I dove right into jiu-jitsu there. This guy, you know, Randy Costa, he's a local fighter around here. He kind of took me under his wing and showed me, you know, the right ways to train for MMA, at least at the beginning stages, showed me how to market myself a little bit, and just, it was a perfect transitioning phase that Randy helped me out with to get into my first fight, which I took like 3 months after after wrestling season was over.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That fast?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's surprising. That's always been something I've been curious about, is like when mentally and physically, I guess, you know, you're ready to get into the octagon. It's
probably different for everybody.
Yeah,
because some people probably like to be a little bit more methodical and really like really want to make sure that they're set, and they want to spar all these different looks and stuff like that months and months or a year before they even take their first fight. But after like 8 years of wrestling, and then I also got my black belt in Taekwondo during high school. Mm-hmm. So I felt I had a kicking background, martial arts background, a bunch of wrestling under my belt. And Randy is the type of fighter where he's like, nah, let's just fuck it and send it. You know what I mean? That's his mentality.
For sure.
So I kind of took all these different things that kind of formed me into being like, okay, let's just fight. Let's just do it. And absolutely fell in love with it. It was awesome.
Definitely. What was your first experience like in the octagon?
I mean, I absolutely loved it. Definitely no regrets, but it didn't go the way I intended.
Yeah.
I ended up losing in the second round, KO. Brutal.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, bro. I was like, come on. Like, but at the same time, man, going into that cage, I had a smile on my face, man. Probably a little bit too happy going into there.
Okay.
It was a huge learning lesson that I'm grateful the entire result of the first fight, I'm so grateful that it happened the way it did. Mm-hmm. I know it's a bad loss and stuff like that, but like, it's only up from there.
Yeah.
And as it has been. So I made sure to take all these tough amateur fights so that when I was turned pro, I'd be ready. But the first amateur fight, man, I had an absolute blast. I had so many people there in attendance that I was so appreciative of and wanted to see me fucking shine and stuff. So I'm glad that all the real ones stuck through too.
Definitely. So yeah, just like kind of continue telling me about where fighting went after that first fight, and run me kind of just through your amateurs and, small lessons you learned or just, experiences you picked up that led you to this.
Yeah, I can kind of spitball here a little bit. So, like, after the first fight, like I told you, didn't go the way I intended. I wanted to just throw in, like, a striking clinic with these little tiny taekwondo kicks that I had. Didn't use any wrestling whatsoever, and which was probably my biggest strong suit and base at the time was my wrestling. I just didn't want to use it. I wrestled for the past 8 years. I just wanted to chuck some kicks and get a knockout in front of everybody I know.
Yeah.
Learned real quick that, it takes like a solid game plan and a methodical approach and a calm demeanor to really get the job done. So the second fight as an amateur, I had 7 amateur fights. My second fight I had, I went against this kid, Brandon DeMora. I have a lot of respect for. He's a good striker in the amateur ranks there. And my head coach cornered me for this fight too. And he said, listen, man, like, I know you like to strike, but the wrestling's your biggest base here. We should use that. So I took, I kind of did the opposite of everything I did in the first fight. I didn't throw as much strikes, but I really wanted to use my wrestling base, and I had a really calm demeanor this time. I didn't try to be so happy and energetic in there. I knew the mission. I knew what I really wanted to do was just to win, bottom line. I kind of wrestle fucked the kid a little bit, and I didn't get much offense off. I just wanted to get my first win.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it went. I got a decision win. Next fight came, and that was years later after COVID hit and everything like that. So I took some time away from that.
Gotcha.
And I finally got back in there, and I just kind of developed a little bit more of like a mixed martial arts. I wrestled, I threw some strikes, I rocked him with a head kick. That was awesome. I'd never done that before at the time. And I got another decision win. After that, I'm feeling real confident. I get another fight against Randy Francis, who had like 13 fights at the time against my 3. And I actually called that I was going to knock him out in the second round, and I knocked him out 7 seconds into the second round.
Oh, yeah. I was watching back some of your old fights throughout the week and, like, going through, like, your Tapology stuff like that, and that was, like, one of the first ones that I watched.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
That was nice.
That was a good one, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That was Cage Titans 50, where it was the first time they did a doubleheader, so the amateurs were all in the undercard during the day, and then the pro card was at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't really care for it that much, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I could see how that would work and not work at the same time. It is kind of nice having them all there at the, pros and amateurs there at the same time. Yeah. But
it was just weird fighting like early in the day.
Oh, so how early was it that you fought?
I think I fought probably around I don't know, probably like 1 o'clock though.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to think because like, you guys have like the shakedown and stuff like that and like loosen up and whatnot. Do you think it's more beneficial to fight at nighttime?
I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Preference-based stuff, obviously.
Exactly. And honestly, where I want to go someday, the times are all going to be fucking crazy because different time zones and shit like that. But I guess it's like a little blessing to be able to experience like a different like scheduled time than usual,
Yeah. Leon Edwards was just talking about how time has been like a major factor for his last 2 fights between Bilal and Sean Brady. He's saying every time I fight in the morning, I get wiped.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like,
that's right, because he's in the UK, right?
Yeah, so. Both his last 2 fights, I think the one against Bilal was in like Saudi Arabia or some sort of thing, but then his last one against Sean Brady was in the UK, and I mean, I don't know if you watched that fight,
I watched it.
But by round 4, it was like 183 strikes to 15, and that's just total strikes. I was watching that while we were in the back, just getting prepped for the fight, but.
Oh yeah, same day.
Yeah, it was just like I was just like, what is happening?
Because it's a tough outing at your hometown too.
Yeah, but Sean Brady's the man.
Yeah, he's tough.
I totally forgot about him and like 17-1. He's like gritty wrestler. But
everybody's good at this stage, man. The UFC.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Definitely everyone's good, and then there's just the patch that moves past that first, the base fighters, early prelims and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's something that's like prevalent in like some like Cage Titans? Like I know that they're bringing a lot of people in, and like a lot of time it's people from other organizations like jumping between promotions and whatnot. But you think that's like something like, you think there's like a level in Cage Titans as there is in UFC? Like there's the prelim guys and then there's like the guys.
I think there's a little bit of a mix. I think there is a little bit of like what's it called, like level of experience, stuff like that. Yeah. Obviously, if you're an amateur, you're going to be on the undercard more than likely. And then like debuting fighters, they kick out first. Kick out, that was brutal. They'll throw on the card first.
Yeah.
And then the amateur title fights. They made their way. They've had a few fights under their belt, and now they're working for a title. And that's like headlining the amateur undercard.
Yeah, for sure.
And then lately they've been doing all pro main cards, and like it's kind of similar where a lot of these pro debuters or something like that, they'll be early on. They haven't had a lot of fights under their belt. Mm-hmm. So I think the majority of the way that they structure their card is through experience of how many fights you've had.
Okay.
And then a lot of it's like if you're a hometown guy, like I've had all my fights for Cage Titans, they're bound to throw me a little bit higher into the main card and stuff like that. I've got a lot of people there in attendance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it comes down to like how many tickets you've sold, how many fights you've had, and definitely the level of competition.
Yeah, they got to play to the people a little bit. I feel that. So one thing I did want to bring up was your opponents. Mm-hmm. So your two most recent fights, well, not including your one that's coming up right now, mm-hmm. but was Tyler Smythe mm-hmm. and then Noah or something Abdul.
Noah Abdul.
Yeah, okay, I did get that right. All right. So with the Tyler Smythe fight, that was a pretty, it was pretty intense. All the lead up to it. Mm-hmm. It's the most I had ever seen any back and forth shit posting in a like just a regional promotion. Yeah. And then not too long ago I saw something of your upcoming opponent posting something about saying, he's smoking on your pack, that type of stuff. Yeah. What do you think it is that brings out this animosity in other people when they're fighting you? Because, and not only that, it's like I seen a clip of you earlier today where it was like a fight from a while ago, but you went to go give a guy bumps pre-fight, nothing, gave him the finger, the usual stuff. Where do you think this animosity comes from? Do you think this comes from your confidence and, you being a hometown name, or just like...
Well, I think it's again, everything's not like so black and white. I don't really think there's one reason. I think it's a mixture of a bunch of different things. And like, as far as like me, strolling past Arthur in that fight, and then he didn't give me the fist bump, I flipped him off, whatever. Man, like I look back and I just think like yeah, at the moment that's just how I felt a little bit, but at the same time, it's like I just wasn't like I wasn't playing into my true perception of how I view myself either. I was trying to be something different. Okay. And I think that is a huge learning lesson that I had early on, and as soon as I went pro, I started just truly being myself, and I was confident in myself. As far as these other guys, man, like Tyler Smythe leading up to this fight, right? The last fight. I think a lot of these guys need to provoke something because they think that that's going to be a key avenue of winning, is to get this mental warfare going. But someone like me, man, I truly like believe in myself, and I truly know who I am. So if I don't care about anyone else's perception of me, it's not going to decide or make a deciding factor in the fight whatsoever. For sure. I think that's what Smythe is trying to do. He's also like known as the bad guy in New England a little bit. He likes to play that role. So yeah, I think it's a mixture of just trying to get into my head mental warfare and also maybe get the fans a little bit more involved. Yeah. I appreciate it all. It helps me sell tickets anyway. For sure. And as far as the party, man, I mean, I truly believe that is all these antics that he does is because he's trying to get a reason to want to fight me. Okay. And I've trained with the guy a couple times in the past. I went down to Florida as an amateur, and he welcomed me into his gym. Train with him. He's a good dude, and it's crazy how just time works. Yeah, I know. It all leads to this, though. I think it was all destined to happen, and but regardless, yeah. I mean, I truly believe that he actually likes me. Okay. And he's trying to provoke me a little bit so that I fire back, so it gives him a reason to want to get in there and put some violence out. And don't get me mistaken, I'm expecting the best party I've ever seen. I think everyone should as well on May 24th. But it's just not enough. It's not enough, brother. He's
has he had a long layoff? Or has he been fighting somewhere else?
He's been fighting elsewhere. Okay. He did a lot of bare knuckle MMA fights. Really? I think he's probably like 1-4 in those. Had some tough losses there. And then he went to Karate Combat. Didn't really go his way there either. That was his last outing in any competition. And I think that was probably about a year ago, I would say. Okay. So it's
been off for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Going into the hall. Yeah. It's a place that definitely feels like home to you, I'd imagine. Describe to me a little bit about the culture with Plymouth and how it's shaped you as a fighter. Because, I mean, I've only been going over to the hall for the last 2 years, and every time I go in there, I'm just fired up. The second I step through the doors, I just did for the first time. I was actually able to do the walk for a walkout, and it was the most insane experience. It's just like that almost makes you want to get in there.
Oh yeah,
taking that walk.
It's contagious.
Like, it is 100%. I remember for weigh-ins just a couple weeks back, I was just like looking out from stage view to the crowd. I was just like, man, this would be something special. Oh yeah. So. Sorry, enough of me rambling. Go ahead and tell me.
I like hearing other people's like perception of how it was too, and their how they felt.
It's like Cage Titans is a day in the year. Well, you know, you got 6 events this year. Each one of those days is marked off on my calendar, and it is like it's a whole experience.
There's nothing like it.
There's nothing. It doesn't matter. I get to Plymouth at 2:30 and just chill out.
Have a good early, huh?
No, yeah, mainly because I like parking in front of the hall.
Yeah,
and there's always a
smart
spot.
Man right there.
And it's like, I mean, it's because I'm filming, so I do want to get there before my guys. But you know, just have a meal on the strip, and all I got to do is walk straight over. I mean, it's just like it's the one of the best places in the world. So I'll let you take the mic for that.
No, everything you said and then some, bro. Like honestly, Plymouth. You can't help it. Like after going to a Cage Titans, man, and being around all these like true fans of the combat sports, man, and like they let you know that they're there for you. You know what I mean? They're there for violence. They love the show. You fall in love with the town of Plymouth, man. Like I really have, and everyone there is truly giving me the best nights of my life. Every single time I'm out there, win, lose. You know what I mean? Lately only wins, but like I really do think that. I can't ever replicate those feelings, you know what I mean? Definitely. And it's awesome. I'm very appreciative of everybody there. And as far as the hall, man, there truly is nothing like it. It's the best venue in combat sports, in my opinion. There's, you know, you go to all these other organizations, man. You got like casinos and shit like that. There's other things to do there.
Yeah.
When you're at Plymouth Memorial Hall, it's like there's a cage and every other seat is just stacked stadium style on top of that cage, and the only thing there to do is get up out of that seat and start screaming your balls off for a fight that's going on. It's unreal.
It's either watch a fight or grab a beer. There's no in between.
Yeah, and they both go so well together.
Yeah, I know. There was some guy building like I mean, they always do this with the whole beer tower things.
Beer pyramid
yeah,
thing,
but they were going early. I mean, before a prelim even kicked off.
Oh yeah,
there was already like waist height. So they're the best fans in the world.
They are. They really are, man.
Like you said, it's that's something I noticed a lot. Is no matter who it is. I mean, obviously you have the people like who have their family showing up, friends, you know, supporting someone specific. Yep. But if we're just talking, watching 2 fighters that you don't know, the whole arena is rooting for both of them.
Oh yeah.
Like where I saw that was Drew Arpin's last fight. Got cracked early in the first. He went down. Everyone lost their mind. As soon as he cinched that bulldog choke in, the place. That might have been one of the loudest pops that I've experienced there so far. And it's just like they were cheered for him almost getting knocked out, and now they're cheering for him choking someone unconscious. It's like it's the most nasty and the best people in the world. Because you get you know, they get a little bit wild sometimes. Yeah. But it's just like it's all love.
I gotta give a quick shout out to my boy Drew really quick. I'm so happy you fucking shouted that out. That kid, man, he had like one of the best amateur fights of the year. I think it was an amateur fight of the year contender a couple of years ago. I think 2023. Didn't go his way, right? He took like a year and change off, man, and really dialed in with his coaches and training, man. He got all of his injuries in check, and he came back out like a completely different fighter. And I was so freaking proud of that dude, man.
He looked phenomenal in his last fight.
Yeah.
He very, very. That was the first fight I've ever seen him fight in. So, but it was just, it was insane. Insane. I mean, my footage of that fight, I was lucky to be out there to capture that one, and the sound levels, like almost like don't like register on my camera. It kind of like cuts out a little bit, and it was just like. I can't imagine what that feeling is like. Just he was insane. Yeah. So going into your pros, because we talked about your amateurs, and you if I have this correct, you lost your final amateur fight.
I did.
After that, where did going pro in your head like make sense? Because I feel like a lot of people or a lot of fighters would want to go into the pros coming off of maybe their best win or off of a win. That was like one of the first times I've seen a fighter go into the pros going off an amateur loss, just based on what I've researched.
No, I get it.
So where did that kind of decision come into play?
Definitely a little unorthodox, right?
Yeah, just something. I mean, I didn't know if it was maybe coach pressure or just like someone is chirping into your ear, or if that was more of a you decision.
A little bit of this and that.
Okay.
So I ended my amateur career 4-3, and I've actually had this question asked a lot. It's a good question, and it was a mixture of a bunch of different things. One, like Joe Lozon was my head coach at the time, man. He's been a huge mentor for me my entire career, and he's like, after I lost that fight, he was like, listen, man, I know it didn't go your way, but you really are ready. I know you are. The kid that I lost to in that last amateur fight, he was like a 12, 13 fight veteran at the time, 8-4, something like that. Tyler Stevens, good fighter out of a great gym. And I still, even though I lost, I thought I did well with him. Just a couple little things I needed to fix. And, my coach, Joe, pulls up his Tapology, and he shows that he was also 4-3 coming off a loss as an amateur. He's like, listen, man. And then he shows me how he did as a pro, goes on like a 10 to 15 fight win streak after that. And that, and just like, I don't know, for whatever reason it is, man, I think I do a good job, and it's not even a good job because it just is what it is. But what I do is I just let things be, and I kind of like let my trust fall into people I believe were placed there for reasons. And like, I think it made sense, and I was like, you know what, Joe, I trust you, and I believe in the whole process. So it kind of just went that way. Joe definitely gave me the like, listen, you're good, you're ready, just keep training, keep grinding. Well, you're gonna be better, and it worked out.
Hell yeah. Joe is someone I've got to meet and have small conversation with through fight nights and whatnot.
Probably in the locker room.
Yeah, he is such a supportive piece to a lot of these young fighters as well as pros, but just it's interesting to see, like you'd assume like a guy 26-time veteran with UFC. I mean, you'd think someone like that is not gonna worry too much about the next guy.
No, he cares.
And he cares so much. I mean, like coming from just like, I think he was coaching someone who was 1-0 from this last fight. And just, yeah, he was spitballing everything to them, pre-fight, during the fight, post-fight. How much he cares about these fighters is not shined into the light enough. Yeah. He is such a big piece of regional MMA, especially here in New England.
Oh, he just loves it.
Yeah, it's like you can tell he sits there in the back on the mat, just on the floor, watching the fights on the kind of crappy TV that's usually lagging, but...
Yeah, the stream was a little wonky last time.
Really bad.
Yeah, I heard that from a few different people.
It's usually all right, but it was not the best this time around. But sorry, I got sidetracked there talking about Joe. I mean, he keeps coming up on this podcast. Almost every fighter I've talked to so far has said something
Staple
about.
In the regional scene, man.
He's like I said, he's such a big part of this.
He's done a ton for me in particular too, man. He's let me come into his gym for many, many years, and he's helped me out, guided me through my amateur fights, my pro fights, man. Gave me good sound advice. He's been awesome.
Hell yeah. So now that we're in pros, let's talk about the first one. We talked about the first amateur fight. Your first time stepping in there pro. Is there a different feeling going into this one from the moment you step in the hall? Is there a different sort of emotion that you're feeling for this one?
Yeah, I think it was a true flip of a switch mindset when I turned pro, which is crazy because like perception is just nuts. As an amateur, I thought I had it all figured out, and as soon as another fight happens, I uncover more things I learn in training and stuff like that. As a martial artist, like I'm still learning, and I'm still learning how to deal with myself and stuff. But as I turned pro, my pro debut, I was just super confident. It was the first time I started incorporating my head coach now, Pete Luciani, who's like truly like chiseled me into and refined me as the fighter, the martial artist I am, like physically, mentally, spiritually, like really, like not skills aside, like my mentality too. He's really helped me out, and that's like where I first experienced it as a pro debuter there. And again, I just try to have a calm demeanor. I truly felt like myself. I wasn't trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And I think that's what's led to like so much success, and it showed the first fight, you know.
Oh yeah. After winning that first fight, obviously, you know, you're on a pretty decent streak right now.
Yep.
Better than pretty decent. A very good streak right now. It's been going very well. After racking up, you know, maybe your first 2 or 3 wins, did you see any difference in kind of like the caliber of where your career was going? Did you see more, I don't want to say the word opportunity, but did you see like more like good things coming your way with the success of your career? Because obviously that's pretty vague. You know, you do good in things, good things will come your way. But, you know, for a lot of times with MMA fighters, a guy can be really good and just things just don't go his way at all, whether it's him just never getting the traction or attention he needs or injury or whatnot. Where did you see your career growing after those first couple of wins?
I'm going to say this, I try to be as humble as I can, honestly, and I'm going to say as humble as possible, but I've truly always believed I'm going to be a UFC world champion one day. Honest to God. And I do believe it's still going to happen. And I just think after all these wins are being racked up as a professional, granted, like, the level of competition is increased after every single pro fight, how I'd like to do it. You know, it's a slow scale. And every win that I accumulate, man, I really do think, like, it's just more confidence and, like, I don't know if this is the right word, but, like, tangibility that, like, the process is working.
Okay.
And it's only just adding to it. I've always had the belief of where I'm going to be someday, and it just makes it more concrete that I'm on my way.
Word. In the UFC, let's talk current UFC. Let's say you get put in the 135 division today. What's a fight that you would like to have?
There's a 35er?
Yeah. Honestly, whatever weight you want. I'd like to know what your dream fight would be, taking away age and all that, whatnot. Yeah. What would be a fight that you would love to just get in there with that guy?
At the moment, man, like, who knows how it would go, right? But I mean, I'm confident, always confident myself, right? But I would love to get a crack at Ilia Topuria, man, if he was around my weight, just because I truly think that he is the most sound fighter right now. I think he just has all his boxes checked: wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, yeah, I would definitely like to see how I pair up against him.
That is, like, not at all as the answer I expected. He cracks.
Yeah, he does.
For a 45er.
I just want to test it.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, you got that. That's all you. Yeah, no, I just wanted to throw that one in there. I was curious. That was a question that I've been wanting to ask. I'm sitting like 170 right now, believe it or not. So let's say I cut down to 55. Current fighter, Gaethje.
Yeah. Going for a freaking bang.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, if I were to go in there with someone in my weight.
So you're confident you'd beat Gaethje?
I never said that. Definitely not confident. But, like, for real, like, actually, like, even if it was something like a spar, like I went to his gym and like a full spar, I'd be so down with that. That'd just because he's like ridiculous, like he's crazy and he wants to scrap.
Yeah,
he's like like everyone knows it. Like you said, a Gaethje fight's gonna be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Like every time, like 10 out of 10 times, regardless of who he fights. Like even he fought Michael Johnson in his debut. You don't hear too much about Michael Johnson getting in too many crazy fights.
No, but that was
insane both ways. I mean, Michael Johnson was cracking him.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of where he got, his highlight nickname.
Do you dabble with training at all, or do you kind of
dabble very lightly, I'd like to say.
Right.
I really am into striking.
Okay.
I grew up doing Tang Sudo, which is a Korean martial art.
Okay.
And really got into doing kicks.
Nice.
Like that's my shit. Like that's like anytime we were doing like board breaking, I was always like, give me some spinning tornado kick. Hold it right here. Like
hold it high.
Yeah, exactly. I just always I always felt free. Kind of just like
I love that.
I can just like move my body however I want to. And then my first introduction to like MMA was KO Gym. Mm-hmm. And it was just like one of my boys was going there, and I was just like felt like hitting a bag a little bit. And I did one of the wrestling classes with Justin Simmons. Shout out Justin.
Shout out Face Off Fight Co.
Yeah, facts. Shout out Face Off Fight Co. All that. Check it out. But yeah, I fell in love with like just like getting in there and like training a little bit. I trained with Miguel a little bit. I did some like personal training with him. I want to get into it like for real. This was something I was talking about.
Take a fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't want to let the lady hear that. She doesn't watch the podcast anyway, so no worries. But yeah, that's something that's like kind of on the back burner right now, you know, with social media being like my main thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's tough to balance.
Definitely. It's like that too is like, for me, it's like I want to be 100% in something that I do, and I feel like fighting is something you need to be 1,000% in. And I feel like if I was trying to balance this and fighting, I wouldn't be able to be a fighter, you know, because this is something I can do. You know, I don't have to get cracked in the face. I don't have to train for this. I just have to like, you know, put in my research, you know, and come out here and perform, you know. But yeah, for sure. I want to like train like for real, and like get like wrestling, get jujitsu.
How old are you?
21.
Oh,
I got time.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Blank canvas. Actually, not even a blank canvas. You got some kicks
I have
some. Dude.
I know it's something that I have to like tell myself you're being ridiculous a lot of the times, but like every event I go to and you know feel the vibe and shit, it's just like damn.
That itch needs to be scratched.
Yeah, I know. And even if it's not MMA, I'd love, you know, boxing, Muay Thai.
Muay Thai fight or something like that.
Yeah, like if I'm being honest,
Smoker.
I'd prefer Muay Thai over everything. Probably, even though MMA is like fire, love to, you know, go out there, choke someone out.
Yeah.
But Muay Thai is that shit looks fun. It looks like it hurts like a bitch, but it looks so fun. So maybe I'll do some fighting stuff in the future. But
here first.
Yeah. Live on the podcast. Potential fight coming. Don't know. Maybe I'll get involved with the Mom's Basement guys.
Hey, my coach has opened up a new gym in New Bedford. Hook and roll. Come through.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely will.
Opening in June.
June?
Yep.
All right, I'll be there in June. I got to stretch out a little bit.
Let's go.
A couple months. So maybe we'll do something for that opening.
Sweet.
But where are they opening at?
I think it's going to be South End, New Bedford. So
do you
probably
know,
pretty close to you.
Yeah.
It's like some mill. I don't even
all right. So it's literally right on the other side of the water. It's like 2 minutes away from here.
You have no reason not to go there now.
Okay. All right. You got me on that one. So, all right. So we'll be doing some training content pretty soon.
That'd be
so
sick.
Valdina got me hyped up. So
all right.
Gonna have to take a couple on the chin, but yeah, perfect timing. Gonna close it out here.
Sir.
Appreciate you coming out here, taking the troop. Promote anything you want to promote. We got a fight coming up May 26th. May 24th. Sorry about that. Yeah, please promote anything. Shout anyone out right now, just at all.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, brother. This was friggin'. You do a really good job here. I've seen a lot of your stuff. I was excited to come over here.
Appreciate it.
And chop it up with you. You're very professional.
Appreciate that.
I love all the content you push out for all the fighters too. You do a really good job. So everyone follow DreamrzPOV.
Appreciate it.
No, but as far as people to thank, man, I got so many. But all my teammates, all my coaches, man, thank you guys for always pushing me and helping me grind and believing in me, man. I can't wait to deliver and give you guys an absolutely phenomenal best performance to date on May 24th.
Hell yeah.
And Plymouth Memorial Hall, man, I can't wait to see everybody in there, man. You guys give me the best nights of my life. I will give you something you talk about for years.
Hell yeah. Thank you, everyone, again for watching. Thank you again. And we'll see you when I see you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Perfect.